All right, sound check 1, 2. Hey man, Happy New Year. Thank you. I think I'm still a little hungover. Still looks a little boring out there in crypto land right now. Looks like Bitcoin's just kind of going through its motions here. Oh, I know, man. It was a long night. Oh my God. All right. So Bitcoin. I mentioned this last week, or maybe it was, I don't know, back in here somewhere, that I thought this might look like an inverted head and shoulders, and it's really kind of taken on that shape a little bit more now. You know, got the head here, shoulder over here, maybe a pop down into this area right here around 69.31, and then maybe it takes off. I mean, we'll see.
I didn't get that.
So anyway, we shall see what happens. I don't think the futures have opened up yet, or have they? Yeah, they have. So I'll drag it over and we'll take a look at that real quick. Still in this falling wedge. I mean, until this breaks out to the upside, it's just more of the same dribble lower, and we're kind of risking a move more to the downside the longer it hangs in this area. So let's see if the squeeze indicators actually, it's still red dots. I mean, we're getting a light blue histogram right here, but it's still red dots. There's still nothing that's signaling that it's ready yet. So again, the Bollinger Bands are just real tight. The moving averages are tight. And we're just in wait and see mode. Wish I had better news, but it is what it is. Just kind of chopping around. Boring stuff. So anyway, that's kind of what I got on the futures. Again, there's really not a lot going on. It's just chop zone right in here, just waiting and consolidating, and then we'll see if we break down or break up. Thinking that it'll go up, but I've been wrong before, so we'll just see. Maybe right here where I was talking about in the futures, maybe this 6,900 area to 68, 67, something in there. Any questions about this, guys? I don't think there was too much. Let's go look at a weekly chart. And again, here's our falling wedge, and we're just slowly progressing to the downside here. So, this area right in here, which was the lows, 6,400, break that area, and obviously I think we're going right down to here, 5,300 if this support area does not hold. right. So that's Bitcoin. Let's look at a. Hang on, I don't even know. Let's look at a monthly chart. Yeah, I mean, still, still the possibility that, it comes down and tests that 5,400 area. That's 78.6 retracement. So that would be, it would be logical if it did that. Let's put it that way. It'd be a logical move. And the way the slow stochastic on the weekly is looking, I mean, you would want to see bulls would want to see this not come all the way down into here. Otherwise, we're risking the same thing that happened over here. So, but it's going to take price and it's going to take volume to turn that indicator. Right? That's what moves them. So, anywho, that is Bitcoin. Any questions or anything like that? All right. Let's go look at some other ones. There's XRP. Just hanging in a zone, right? Can't get above the 38.2. Can't get below the 61.8. So that's your support and resistance. Almost 20 cents on the upside. And let's call it 18 cents on the downside. So a break of either one of those areas ought to get the ball rolling. Let's look at BAT. That's what I talked about. I said that one had a potential, and sure enough, after a little, retracement, it's bouncing hard off that 10 EMA. So, again, that's one to keep an eye on. I think I said it would make maybe a quick move to 20 cents, which it did, a couple of days ago? Kind of like figured it would be a one-day deal, but it ended up being kind of a 2 or 3 day thing. So, anyway, I like BAT to really get up in here in the 21 to 22 cent range, and then we'll see what happens. Another one is XTZ. Obviously a big Momo player back in here. Went from 73 cents almost to 2. It's a huge move, and now it's retraced normally back to the 50% retracement, and we'll see if that's enough to get it going again. If it gets above $1.41, $1.42, then I like its chances to come up and retest the highs. So that'll be one to watch as well. Let me get my pointer focus on here because it doesn't look like maybe you guys can't see where I'm pointing to. Give me one sec here. Let's see. Anybody got any questions? Okay, here's the pointer. Got it going now so everybody can see. Let's look at some other ones. DGB. Lately it's like it's been a no-brainer really to just kind of buy it around 70 cents and then sell it when it hits like 85 or 90. Just can't make higher highs. It keeps making lower highs, but this support line down here is holding. So as long as that holds, Um, Thinking it might be good for a bounce. If not, then your next move to the downside is 66. RVN. Again, same kind of thing. I did this chart the other night for somebody. It's just one of those that plays in this little zone, right? Has been lately. So until something changes, why not be buying in this range and then selling it on a pop? You know, could be buying it here and selling it at, what? Don't get greedy, but sell it at 370, 380, just to be conservative, just in case it wants to make a higher low, which it has done recently. So potential play there, and your EMAs are trying to hook up a little bit. So that's one to keep an eye out on. Let's see. Vet is always one that I've kind of been really curious about. It's had this nice big move here, and now it's just in consolidation mode right in this area. So really, bulls would like to see it hold 63 cents. Or 63 sats, I mean. And if it can hold that, then, maybe a move to the upside. Still might take a little bit longer consolidating, but still it's bullish hanging around up here above the 200 and 233-day moving average. What else? Let's look at Ethereum. Yeah, again, like Bitcoin, not much to get excited about just yet. I mean, it is trying to make a low here off this fib cluster. Maybe a little bit more consolidating and rounding out a bottom and then maybe going up. So, much like the other ones. What else do we got? Link. Link is just right here at support area. Is it going to make another low down here? Or can it hold and reverse? That's the $1 million question. I would say as long as it holds this fib cluster area right in here around 168 to where it currently is, maybe 175. Then it should be good. Hey, Payday, how you doing, bud? Yeah, let me look at. I looked at it just a minute ago. XTZ, and so it's had this nice little run right here from 71 to almost $2, and now it's retraced 50% of that move. So, not a bad spot to re-enter longs, I would say. As long as it can hold $1.14, then bulls should be good. You got a few retracements down in here. Right here, this 78.6 and the 50% retracement are obviously massive, as well as that lower Bollinger Band. So, hey, Friesen, how you doing? Happy New Year. Happy New Year to everybody. So anyway, that's kind of what I see for XTZ. I think as long as it holds this low right here, then it's got a chance to make new highs. And I did buy some the other day on this little dip down in here. So, like I said, as long as it holds this 78.6 retracement, that's right around where the 200 and the 233 is. That's a good support area right in here. So it could dip a little bit more, but this area, looks to be solid support. So as long as it can hold it, then I like its chances to move higher. Yeah. So anyway, that's what I like on XTZ. What else do we got? EOS. That's just still, look at this. It's like a descending triangle. One could even maybe say, God, I don't know. That's just ugly. So you've earned 17 XTZ. Is that just from holding it? Is that how you do that? I think I was reading up a little bit about XTZ. It just kind of, once you hold it, it kind of mines itself. Is that right? It looks pretty good to me. I mean, I like the technology behind it and stuff, so. Let's look at ADA. I haven't looked at that one in a while. I always like to keep an eye on it because it can, when it wants to move, it can move. Again, this whole thing right here just looks like a big bear flag. It reeks. I don't know. Oh, very nice. Very nice. Yeah, I think that's one I'm just gonna hold on to. XTZ. I think I may hang on to that one for a while. Give it a chance. Ada again. Looks like just bear flag. New Year's for me, I didn't get home till about 2:30 in the morning, so I am still hungover. That was a long night. Excuse me. That was the other one I kind of liked. Talked about this one. Downtrend, up, and just kind of consolidating right in here. Yeah, I'll tell you, man, it was. Oof. All right, what else do we got out there that we can look at? ZRX. Yeah, I mean, as long as it can hold, the 17.5 area, that 17.5 cent area, it should be fine. Otherwise, it'll come down and test the lows at 15. What else do we got? Oh, let's go take a look at old Matic here. Let's see if it, yeah. See, that's what I was afraid of. I mean, when you get something that just, does this and then it does that, it just takes so long to get out of that mess. You know what I'm saying? I mean, maybe come back and revisit it here in I don't know, maybe a few weeks or whatever and just kind of see. I mean, there's still a chance it could creep back up and, come up to the 38.2 retracement at 312. But again, it's all a risk, Something like that move right there is going to be enough to scare anybody into buying it, right? They're just going to be a little scared. So we'll see. What else? What else looks good out there? You guys got anything? You got anything you're looking at or want me to look at? Yeah, I looked at BAT just a little bit ago. And I mentioned this, I can't remember how many days ago it was. I think it was back in here. And I was like, I liked how it was bouncing off this 61.8 and kind of a cluster area down in here. And I was like, if it holds this area, then it could be like a one-day event. I think I had a fib retrace. Maybe it was 38.2 up in here somewhere around 20 cents. And I was like, this thing could move from, where it was back then at 17 cents up to 20 real quick. And that's exactly what happened. And so it's broken over this mess over here. And now it's just kind of churning and trying to go higher, right? So keep an eye on BAT. Okay, it's bouncing hard off that 10 EMA right now. So keep an eye on it. Orchid. What's the symbol on that one? Oh, excuse me. Ugh. OXT. Okay. Oh yeah, I picked up. Coinbase had a nice little free giveaway on that one. So on the tutorials and stuff. So I did that. Wow. Okay. So, wow. Well, is it going to come all the way back down here where it opened? All the way back down to 21 cents? Very possible. Let's go see if any kind of... Oh, yeah, look at this. That's interesting. So, let's take all these out. Yeah, just kind of hanging around that 78.6 retracement. Might not be a bad spot, but volume is so light right now. Let's go to the shorter time frame, see what's going on. Yeah, look at this. Woof. And then this is kind of like, similar to Matic in a way. And then just this down move right here. It's trying to break through that 78.6 actually. Yeah. I'd give it a little bit more time. Maybe let it come back down over here to where this support area at this green stick is. 30 cents. Maybe 30 cents ought to be a area. We'll see. Maker. What's that? Symbol. What is Maker? I have no idea. Or is that even a coin? Let's go look at ICX real quick. It's always one that everybody talks a lot about, but yet nothing ever happens. Here's the thing with some of these, right, guys, is that you see this all the time. You see this drop and then sideways consolidation, and just then all of a sudden when you start getting these moving averages right here, the 200 and 233 getting closer, you have to start watching for some point of these things turning, right? Nothing's going to just go straight down. I mean, unless it's just dog crap, and it's a scam or whatever. But at some point, these things just bottom out, from lack of, interest and whatnot. And then you start getting people accumulating. And then all it takes is one little bump. And then people start climbing on board and thinking it's going to be the one, right? So if you're in it and you're patient, then stick with it, right? But again, it's a risk, right? Because you're tying up capital that can be used on other things. MKR, let's see, Life Pure, LPTETH. Huh, let me look at that one. LPTETH. I'm going to have to look at the Bitcoin version. Oh my gosh, look at that. Okay. Looks like I charted this one before. But I have no idea where... Oh, wow. Okay, so these fibs are still good. Yeah, these fibs are still good. Yeah, so we'll see. I mean, it's just the Bollinger Bands are real tight. Volume is dried out right here. So, yeah, we'll see. May not be too bad. Let's do MKR. Okay, so again, it's these moving averages, right? The 200 and the 233. It's like as long as it's above it, it stays bullish, and then once it breaks it, it goes bearish, and now it's just clustered right in here. So this could take another. Oh gosh, let's see what happens in the next month. Maybe next. Let's not a month. Let's call it the next couple of weeks. This may not be too awfully bad. Oh, there you go. Yep, there you go, Friesen. Yeah. All right. What else do we got? What's Theta doing lately? That was a Momo play back over the summer for a little while. This one doesn't look too horrible. Theta actually broke that 61.8. So let's take that out. Interesting. Another one of those that is now back above the 200 and the 233. So can it make the move higher? And you know what I'm saying? And just bring these moving averages and start making them turn. Then it gets really bullish. So keep an eye on Theta. Let's see what Poly was another one people used to ask me about. Let me see what's going on with that one. So it broke through that. Let's get that out of there. Broke that fib cluster. Let's just remove all that. And let's get rid of that. All right, so let's do a little Fibbo retracement. Broke the 78.6 there. Let's see if there's anything from this low to this high. And we'll take that 78.6 out and the 127.2. And let's get that little line out of there. There we go. Okay, so Poly, I would say possibly give that a little bit more time. I don't know that I'm in love with that one. What else do we got? BNB. Let's see what's been going on here. Once it broke that trend line, let's get that out of there. And it looks like, let's see, where was that drawn from? Okay, so it broke the 78.6. So that fib was good. Let's get rid of that. Let's get rid of... I think I'm going to keep that in there. I think that low held. Yeah, it sure did. Look at this. Possible double bottom on Binance Coin. So if one wanted to take a risk here, you know, it's at least on the BTC pair, that's not horrible. You know, you could take a spot here. Yeah, it's coming. It'll come. You just got to be picky with some of these, because some of these will, you know, it's like anything else. You know, these things are almost like penny stocks, you know. And so there's going to be crash and burns on some of these, right? It's like Matic. Those poor people that got sucked into that thing at the top and then just had their pants dropped. I mean, that was just bad, you know. So that's what scares people a little bit. You know, it's best to look for the ones that, you know, I don't know, kind of look at the ones that haven't run. You know, it's a risk, because some of these could just go sideways for a long time, right? But yeah. So anyway, do you guys have anything else you want me to look at? Actually, I was going to look at BNB on the USD pair. Kind of the same thing. You know, it's like when you see these, the 200 and the 233 cross, we've seen what happens, right? It's like these things are just, that's pressure. You know, until you start making a sustained move above the 50 EMA, why risk it? You know? Why risk it? Yeah, let's go to... I think I did Ethereum here just a minute ago. Let me look at that again. And there it is. You know, it's just... it just keeps dribbling lower, right? And so it's hit a fib cluster, right? A real strong one right here at 116, I guess, or close to the other, back in December. And trying to hold and bounce off that. But the bounce isn't real impressive. You know what I'm saying? It's not like a hard rejection off that area. So I would be cautious. You know, that's a strong cluster. I mean, that could hold. But where's the volume lately? The volume is just not there. It's just non-existent. And that goes for the crypto market in general too. You know, some things are gradually moving up, some aren't. It's just, you know, you just got to be real careful out there. Be picky. You know, it's like BAT, I think, is, to me, one of the better ones to hold on to. You know, I see that move, and I see the 10 crossing the 20, and the way that it came back and tested the 10 and bounced hard off of it, just seems to me like this thing could go up here to 21 cents. You know, those are plays that I look for. You know, I'm not saying it's going to come up here and make new highs, but at least 21 cents, 21 and a half. Which would be a decent percentage gain, right? So you got to take what the market's giving you. You can't force it. Can't force it. Oh, are you talking about BAT? I mean, let's see. Look here. I mean, it's like this area down here was an important area. Oops. Hit the wrong. Let me get that out of there. Hit the wrong. There we go. That area right there was important. Okay? bottom, bounced, bottom, and now it's bouncing again. Okay? You can't ignore stuff like that, right? I'm not saying that it's coming all the way up here to retest these highs, but could you not play this as at least getting and testing the 200 and the 233 day moving average? Right up in here. 21 to 22 cents, maybe 23. And that's a conservative area, really, the 61.8 or the 50% retracement. So I like its chances. After that, then we'll have to come back and revisit, because this area right up here is going to be pretty tough. So we'll see. But I do like BAT a lot. At least for short term. Let's go ETC. Actually, yeah, bouncing nicely. Not bad. Litecoin, haven't looked at that one in quite a while. And that just looks like total dog crap, if you ask me. Sorry. Big peak and then just cratering down. I mean, that thing could actually, we'll see. 161.8 is not a bad retrace area to hit off of, but it could possibly get back down to 27 cents or even, or $21, I mean. So I'm not in love with Litecoin at all. Doesn't mean it can't bounce. I mean, everything does, right? And there's still a cult following out there on Litecoin, but it's not for me. Nope. Yeah, down here. Oh yeah, that's kind of what I'm thinking. What else was out there? Website's coming along. I'm getting there. Just got a few things to detail out and then hopefully get that thing kicked off here fairly soon. But in the meantime, like I told you guys, I'm not leaving you hanging. I'm not, I'm not going anywhere. Okay, any other requests? Anything you guys want me to look at? I don't know what else. XLM, I think I looked at that one a little while ago. Stellar Lumens. Yeah, I'm going to change that to red since that's going to be resistance now. XRP. Yeah, Friesen, there really is. There's a cult out there on XRP. I mean, these people are like rabid dogs. I mean, and it's a typical cult following is what it is. It's just they fall in love with it. They get all this stuff fed to them about how high it's going. It's going to 300 or blah, 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 blah. And it never does, right? They were calling 300 all the way back here. And it only hit 40 cents. Well, that sure looks like a long ways away for me. And I don't know what is going to be the catalyst that people think is going to take it to 300, but I think that is absolutely ridiculous. I think people would be lucky. And to me, on XRP, really it boils down to this right here. This red line, okay, that is going to be the major resistance area, right? So if it bounces, and I've drawn a fib in from here to here, and so if this thing starts to come up, it's got quite a bit of resistance to get through before it even gets to that red line, right? So I don't know. I just think it's a, I'm not saying it's a horrible thing, but I just think, let it play out a little bit and wait for some little bit of Momo or something, some maybe a candlestick pattern or something that lets you know that the reversal is there. If one wants to actually come in here and just dive into it real good, then you could go in here and you could go, okay, squeeze in a little bit tighter. And this little candle right here that hit off the 61.8, that's a hammer candle, which means it's hammering out a bottom, right? And so as long as XRP holds 18, let's call it 18 and a half sats or 18 sats, or cents, I'm sorry, then it might be okay. These Bollinger Bands are coming in tight, right? They're getting tighter. This one's hooking up. This one's coming down. Probably in the next, let's just say January 4th or January 5th. And that's kind of like just a guesstimate. Could be the 6th. When these Bollinger Bands get real tight, and then we'll see what it does. I mean, could that be the bottom? And then this is confirming the bottom? If it is, then XRP's got a good chance to go up to 21 cents? Possibly even test 22. And then, of course, you got that big, huge resistance at 23. So that's what it's having to face. And it could do it. But then again, it also could come down here and take out that hammer, take out that low, and come all the way down here. So we shall see. Claiming it'll be $1.25. So they're claiming that ADA, the USD pair. All right, so let's go look at it. I might have to laugh at that one too. So it's at 3 cents, right? And they're saying it's going to be $1. Well, let's just go back and let's just start this thing all over again. Since a lot of these fibs have been taken out, I'm just going to redraw this whole thing. And let's take out that. And we'll take that out as well since it broke that. And I think this is rather interesting. Okay. So here we go. We've got this support level over here that held, dipped below, bounced, and then came right back below. So when we scroll in and look at it tighter, what's going on? I see this red line now that was support being resistance. See that? All these wicks out the top, it's trying to get through and it can't get through. If it gets back through, that'll be a bullish sign. But I don't think it's going to be like a going to $1 bullish sign. Let's put it that way. Those people are retarded, if you ask me. I'm sorry. 3 cents to $1? No. I mean, that's like take your tinfoil hat off. I mean, that's not working. Shoot, it's at 3 cents. Could it possibly, and let's just, for giggles and grins, let's go down here and pretend that's the bottom. Yeah. Okay. So there we go. So at least for the immediate future, right? Could I see it if things got like it had a good move and bullish? Could it get to like 9 cents or close to 10? Very possible. I mean, that's not unrealistic. But it's got to get past 5 cents first, and it's got to get past the 200 and the 233, and then it's got to hold this area down here. So let's go and look at a weekly chart. Okay, and so here we go. If I scroll out, so at least on the USD pair, the all-time high was up here, right? $1.41, $1.40. That was back when Bitcoin, I mean, if ADA is going to hit a dollar, then that means Bitcoin's probably going to hit 20,000, right? I'm just going off past history, right? But this whole thing down in here and doing what it's doing, I don't know. I'm not saying it's a horrible coin. I'm just saying people need to get a dollar out of their head. I mean, I would be absolutely freaking thrilled if I bought it here at 3 cents, and if I came and checked on it in May and it was at 14 cents, I'd be freaking happy as all get out. Right? And then you just play it, you go to my strategy and play it that way. Take your profits, leave a little bit, and if it goes to $1, guess what? You're happy. Okay, any other questions? What we got? ADA holders, yeah, like XRP, absolutely. I mean, and as much as I love Digibyte, even Digibyte has its own cult following. There's cult followings all over the place, but the ones that are more noticeable to me are XRP and ADA. Well, DGB too. And like I say, I do like DGB. I just, Jared's he's being stubborn. He just doesn't want to get on. He didn't want to have to pay to get on exchanges, right? And I don't blame him. Hey, Abram, how you doing? Happy New Year. Okay, what else are we going to look at, guys? Or do y'all want me to just babble a little bit? Giggles and grins. AMD. Oh, yeah. Advanced micro devices. Yeah, hang on one second. Let me do that one. I actually lost a little bit of money on that stupid thing. Played some puts on it. Let's do 80 here. Come on. Get in there. Oops. AMD. Okay. Let me pull this over and we'll take a look at AMD. Okay. So here's what I've got. This is the daily chart. And I may have to redo some fibs in here. Let me change my... Yeah, I'll look at Roku too. Let's see. Let me change my... Make this white, or yellow actually, so y'all can see it. There we go. All right. So let's go and do some... I haven't done this chart in a long time. Okay, first of all, I can tell you this right now. This is what really gets my radar up, is when we've had, like, see all this blue histogram? And even though back in here, you know, it dipped a little bit and then ran some more, you can see where it starts running. This just doesn't last forever, right? These histograms, as far as the bullish light blue, and you can see what's going on right now, right? This is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 bars of light blue. You can see back here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. This one actually went longer. Right? So nice bull move, but this usually does not play out that long. The average on these histograms is about 8 to 9 bars. Okay? It's not 100% perfect, but it's something that I trust, right? Too many times in the past I've seen it, and then all of a sudden you can get like this right here. So this is obviously a bullish, very bullish chart, right? So why are you going to try to fight it? You know, you don't want to fight that. You know, who fights up and then a drop, and then this is like that's a major impulsive move, right? And so one would have to ask, and that's where I would, you know, maybe I ought to get my Elliott wave dusted off and start looking into this. But, you know, some people may say it's a 1, 2, 3, 4, and this is a 5 wave. But that could be 5 of, you know, 1, 2, that's not really impulsive right back here. But, I mean, you get my point, right? Anything you see like this is just impulsive, and at some point it's unsustainable, right? It just, like back in here, right? You see this, okay? If we was to come over, see how does this look a little bit familiar? At some point, you know, something's going to have bad earnings. There's going to be some bad news, but you're not going to know about it until the news actually comes out. People on the inside will actually know, and that's where you take your cues, right? So I'm just saying, okay, if we look over here and it shows their earnings dates, right, down here at the bottom, is it not rather peculiar that this thing ran up all the way ahead of earnings, and then look at this. Somebody knew back here that earnings probably weren't going to be all that great. I'm assuming if I go back and look at October, their earnings missed or something like that. But, you know, somebody knew back here, right? It's obvious. Somebody knew, and then the news comes out. And then once news comes out, it's already priced in. So everybody starts buying. And then look what happens. Yeah. Yep, exactly. Very, very similar chart pattern. So I guess now the question is on, XTZ. Let's go ahead and I'm going to take out all these fibs because I'm sure they're out of date. And I think I put that price level in there, which I could. Let's make it. Let's make it that. And let's turn it green. Okay, so now what do we look at, right? This area over here, which was resistance, right? When it first tried, it was resistance, broke down and then broke hard above it, right? And on a retrace, it didn't even get down to this area. Okay? So at some point, I think it's eventually going to come back and retest this area. And then we'll see what happens. And not only that, but my slow stochastics, right over here, they're way overbought. They were overbought back here, though, when it made this move, right? So just because something's overbought doesn't mean it can't go a little bit higher. But I just think this is probably the start. And I've talked about this before, is that normally what happens with stocks is that at the beginning of the year, you get funds and pension, people like that. They just, all these mutual funds, they come in and they buy everything up at the first of the quarter, right? They sell the stuff off, or try to, at the end of the year. And then they'll buy, get their portfolios going for the next year. And then after that, the buying's done. It dries up. And so you're left with retail investors trying to do this. And that's when you're going to start seeing some drops. So, we'll probably see a little bit more up as they buy this stuff. But then once it gets closer toward the middle or end of the month, then after that is where you need to be real careful. Right? Because these guys are buying. They're going to be buying on any dips, whatever, provided we don't have bad news. And so if I was to, let's do some Fib-O retracements on this one. And I'll look at Roku here in just a moment. Let's just do one from that low to this high. And let's just say if that's the high, right? Doesn't mean it is. Let me get that out of there. And then let's do another one from there to there. And I see a 38.2 and I've got some clustering going on. Let's take that out. Let's take out that. Okay. And so, possibly a move back down to, 39.50? Possibly. Got a strong 38.2 and a 78.6 fib cluster sitting right on top of each other, right at that 10 EMA that took it up. Or 50, I'm sorry. So, yeah. Pull back in, hold the 50, and then march higher. And then after that, all bets are off. Okay, let's go look at Roku. What is Roku just Roku? Yeah, it is. Okay, so Roku, wow. Holy crap. Probably not a bad decision, if you ask me. You had a high right here, and a dip, and then a bounce, and a lower high. Right? See that? Lower high. So let's just assume. And it's got a gap in there too, on the upside, right? right up here at 160. So there's a gap up at 160. So that's something to keep in mind. Doesn't mean they have to fill it just yet, but this thing is actually taking on the pattern of, it's got something going on in here that, let's do some fib retracements. This thing may be getting close to a possible bottom. Let's just take a look. That's not what I wanted. And that's not what I wanted either. Damn it. Let's get over here and scrunch that in so I can get right on it. There we go. Oh, you son of a gun. There it goes. Okay. All right, so let's go ahead and take that out. Oops. Take that out. Trying. All right, take that out, that out, that out. Take the 50 out. Well, isn't this interesting? And I just love how Fibonacci works. I really do. Let's do another one. See if we have any kind of cluster. Maybe here to here. Yeah. Okay. Lo and behold, here we go. Take that out. Take that out. That out. That and that. Okay. So here's what I got on Roku. Okay. If you're looking for a potential bottom area, two areas come to mind. And let's keep in mind that we've got this little gap up here, right? And you know how I feel about gaps. Let's just throw it on there. And let's go ahead and edit that a little bit. Let's get that color going. And we'll put a green, and let's make that width 3. There we go. All right. Okay, so you got this area right here where a previous bottom was, right? At 127.50. There's also the 61.8, which is right below it at 125, right? So this is a support zone. All right, first support zone. It's passed through the 10 and the 20 EMAs, right? And the 50. But it's coming up here to the 200-day moving average, right? Or could it come down to, is what I'm trying to say. Let's take out that right there. Okay. So the 78.6 retracement of this move lands right here. The 61.8 right there. 78.6 retracement of that move is right here. So support here, and then better support down at 113. Okay. And then who knows? Maybe it turns and comes up and fills the gap. And at that point, it could still make a lower low, right? Not saying it breaks the highs, but this is one I'm going to keep on my radar. I may get some calls on this one at some point. I may do like knowing these moves on this. Let's go. Usually takes what? That's September to what? September. Yeah, it was about a month, right? That it made this move. In 1 month, it went from 98 to 150. So this may not be a bad one to get some calls on, you know. And you could play them, you know, and that's the thing about options. You got to be real, you know, your time is of the essence, right? And so if you wanted to wait until it got down to here, you could get better premium on your options. But you could play some, you know, February calls. being that it's, maybe like some mid-February calls, you could play those. And maybe buy them, close to in the money right here. Let me go and look and see what the price is on some of their options here. Roku. And let's look at the February. There we go. February 21st calls. Wow, those are expensive. You would have to pay, and let's just say that gap is up here at 160. You could, if you're targeting that, you'd be looking at $6.60 for a call, one call option. But that, that $6, almost $7 could turn into 50 or 60 if it gets up here. But time is against you. So that's the one thing in the beauty about options. Yeah, Abram, I'll check Matic. Anyway, that's Roku. I'll get that out of the way. And let me go back and change the pointer focus. Maybe. That darn thing just shut down on me. Okay. Be that way. Let's see. Let's do. Okay, let's go back to black. All right, let's go look at Matic. Oh, you're welcome, Pay. My pleasure, man. Okay, so I talked about it a little while ago. Obviously that weekly candle, that's a bearish engulfing, right? So I've kind of already gone over this, is that it's just going to take a long time for Matic to ever get back up into the 500s. That's just my view. I could be totally wrong, and maybe there's another pump coming, but to me, let me get back and change. Hang on here. Let's do this. I think I did this on a 4-hour chart. Yeah. So, needs to get above. Let me get that out of the way. Hang on. There we go. Holding the 78.6. Let's go and see if anything made this an even more important bottom. Let's take a look at the downside fib. Maybe. Let's see. 127.2. Well, that's interesting. So from this low to that high, we've got a fib cluster, 127.2, and from the area that it made this low back in here, up here is another fib retracement. So this may be, this area down in here, 188, may be a more important low. Hey, Pro. You want to start learning about crypto trading? To start with, I mean, you can go right here on my YouTube channel, and I've got some videos about moving averages. I've got videos about Fibonacci, videos about gaps, videos about fib clusters and how I come up with them, and how do you draw retracements and fib retracements, how you do all that stuff. So I've got pretty much the basics on my YouTube channel if you want to watch those. And then also in the Discord channel, there's plenty of guys with knowledge in there. Everybody chips in and puts stuff in the educational area. Okay. And then here, probably in the next week or two, I'm going to be having my own website. It will be a paid website, but it's going to be, I'm still coming up, and it's not going to be like what some of these other guys are charging. I know some people out there are charging $100 or whatever. I'm still trying to determine if I want to just do a one-time, you pay and you're in for good and never have to pay monthly, or if I just want to do something small and go monthly. Still trying to work out all those, but it'll be very reasonable and it'll be fair and probably a lot less than what you see a lot of these other jokers doing. And I'll have all kinds of calls, videos, nightly videos, stuff like that. So that'll all be coming up very soon. Okay, so anyway, going back to Matic. So we've established what looks like a more important low right here with the fib cluster area, right? So now what do we want to do? We want to take our fib retracement from the top and let's go down to the bottom and let's just see what we got lining up to the upside, right? What do we have to get through? And so it's already broken the 23.6, 38.2 is right there. And let's just plug all those in, and there's what we got. Oh, thanks, Pro. I appreciate it. It's not easy, but it's something I love doing. It's just something I was born for. It's just I love doing it. In fact, if all goes well over the next few months, who knows? Maybe I'll turn this into a full-time gig. And then you guys will really be hearing me all the time. Okay, so to the upside on Matic, 224, that's going to be resistance, right? Okay, which I think it could possibly get to. It just looks like it's bull flagging here on the 4-hour chart. Had this nice move right here, and then it's just kind of bull flagging, consolidating right in this area. If it can hold the 10 and the 20 EMAs right there, which is what, let's call it 203, maybe 200 sats. Staying above 200 would be a good sign for Matic. And then it can get up here and go to 230, 224, 235. Those will be the first areas of major resistance. And then if it gets Momo going behind it, it could possibly go up to 260. But I'm not seeing anything past 260. Okay? At least I'm not seeing it like in the next week or two. Over time, could it start, making its way back up into the 300s? Possibly, but, that's just something you have to figure out for yourself. I don't have a timetable on it. Daily chart, Bollinger Bands are pinching right here. See how tight they are? Had that big move, and then the Bollinger Bands come in and they get tight. And so this thing could just consolidate for a long time and then eventually come out of it and make another move. But that stuff right there just scared the living bejesus out of people, I'll promise you. And those are people that are trapped at the top that are wanting to sell to you right in here. So that's where that resistance comes from. Right? Because they're probably averaging down, right? They got stuck here at 500, and now they're having to average down, which means they're buying more shares. And then as price goes up, they're logically going to look to get out at their halfway point. Just get out and, break even somehow, some way. And that's where your resistance comes in. And that's going to be this area right in here. Okay? Supply and demand. That's what makes the market go round. All right. Let's see. Any other questions? Any other things to look at? See, Bitcoin. I don't know. I think the futures did already open. I think I went over that. Yep. So we'll see if this, if it gets any kind of move to the upside, then this red dot's going to turn green, and hopefully it's not just a head fake. But breaking out of this wedge would give this thing some momo to the upside. And that's what we're going to be looking for. Just going back to the Coinbase chart. Just still looking at, getting past here. There's your 50. 10 and 20 down here. Bollinger Band's tight. Could still stay tight for a while. So we'll see. Bitcoin is Bitcoin. All right, guys. Any other questions? Any other charts? Any questions about trading or any of the charts? Or how I do things? RVM. Yep. I think I went over that one a little while ago. Let's see here. Yeah, so, it's like I talked about earlier. It's like this thing just has a history to it, right? So it's like we've established a low, right? Here's your low down in here. 287-ish. And then your high up around 460-ish. Right? So once it gets down into this little area, based on history, what do you want to be doing? Would you want to be buying this? Because it just, based on history, pump, drop, pump, drop. And so this could go sideways for a little bit, but eventually could it pop again, right? Your worst case scenario is that you're buying at 319, okay? If you wanted to wait until it possibly hits the lower Bollinger Band again at 299, you could. But if it breaks this support area, then your next level of support is around 202. Okay? But based on history, based on where the moving averages are, you would expect this thing at the very minimum, more than likely, comes up and tests, 361? That would be my guess on that one. I'm just going off the pattern and the history of this thing. So if you go back and look at in between times that it pumped, right, and then it dropped, just, go back and count the days, from the time that it made an ultimate bottom down here was October 25th, and then it took until early December before it pumped, right? And so now if we go back and look and say, was this the ultimate bottom on December 10th, then logically time frame you're looking at middle January, possibly. Just a thought. So there's still some time, and you can see when Bollinger Bands get tight, this thing can still just hug that lower Bollinger Band and get into support and then pop, right? So is it going to do the same here? All we can do is go off history and past performance, right? And look what's given to us. And that's what I see. It's in a zone right here. Resistance, support. Resistance, support. Pretty easy stuff. All right, guys, anything else? Okay, I'm going to give it a 2-minute call because I know this thing delays a little bit, so I'll give it a 2-minute call. If you got anything you want me to go over or questions, anything. You are welcome, Abram. I appreciate you coming in. All right. Anything else out there? Oh, you know what? BSV. I've had some of this, and I actually added more last week. I just think this one is primed for a breakout. I really do. I think this is primed for a big time breakout. And I'm looking at these moving averages, and if it gets above that 200-day moving average, then this thing could just, like, you can see how it made this move right here, and then that is just choppy consolidation right there. That's just like, yeah, that's just classic. And so this thing has the potential to break out of that consolidation and go higher. So BSV, keep an eye on it. All right? I mean, this thing, it's low priced already. I'm not saying it's going to go to $1 or anything like that, or even 50 cents, but from here to here is a pretty good percentage gainer. Okay? That's like double your money. So anyway, I'll leave it with that. BSV, I totally forgot to cover that one. What else? We haven't looked at dominance, BTC dominance. Let me do that real quick. And again, it's just kind of consolidating up in here, you know. So, you know, is this going to roll over? You know, if it does, that's good news for alts, right? So if this rolls over a little bit, alts can start moving. I think that's pretty much it, though, guys. Okay, well, I appreciate y'all coming in, and I'll be around on chat here for a little while, and Happy New Year's again to you guys, and we'll talk soon. Thanks again.